When you came out with IPO A, I think it's fair to say that the SPAC path to going public did not have the best reputation. And as we've come along, we've seen a bit of a wave, and over this year we will raise, by the end of the year, manifold what has ever been raised through this process before. Do you see excess in that on a deal by deal basis?
I think that we're going to have a distribution of outcomes in SPAC land that is no different than the distribution of outcomes in any other part of the capital markets. When you look at hedge funds, there are some great hedge funds and there are some crappy hedge funds. The same with private equity, same with venture capital, same with ETFs. There's no free lunch, right? Some will be expensive, some will be cheap. And then there will be people over the course of years and tens of years that just are consistently better. Yeah. And, they'll have a process that may sound easy to understand or hard to understand. But, to the extent that you can participate with them, you'll do better. And I think that that's what's going to happen. I think that there will be some really, really tragic outcomes in SPACs. But I also think that there's going to be a lot of home runs and grand slams in SPACs as well. And it's going to come back to more data that allows the investors to make better decisions. So just to give you an example, we now have enough SPACs to have an early read of how to discern sponsor quality. So for example, going back to what I said, sponsors who invest their own money generate meaningfully better returns than sponsors who don't. Okay, well now there's a litmus test that people can use to start grading, right? And to start predicting future performance based on past results to the extent you want to believe in that. Another thing that's come out is a body of knowledge around the experience set of the sponsor. Sponsors who are operators and who've run businesses before, like myself and Adam Bain, who run our IPO 2.0 platform, generate outcomes that are 40% better than the average than folks who are just financial engineers running SPACs. Those sponsors generally tend to underperform by 10%. So all of these data points will get further refined over time. And then the reality is that you can pick based on who performs. And there'll be a bunch of data points that allow you to understand that. We all could sit around the table and say, I think there's a lot of, for example, over focus on the promote and the fees. I kind of think it's stupid. Mm-hmm. And the reason is because I'm in the market to make a market, to put my money at risk. And I think I should get compensated if I'm right. But if you allowed me to put literally all of my money into Jim Simons, Medallion Gold, which charges $5 and $50, I would do it. Mm-hmm. And I would walk away and I wouldn't complain about the fact that Jim Simons is going to tax my money $5 and $50. Because he's proven over 30 or 40 years, he's going to generate high 30s net on my capital. So I just think that over time, we're going to replace the discussion of the promote with really what is the net return to me as an investor, and what are the dimensions that allow me to have manager selection. And that's the same dynamic that exists in every other part of the capital markets ecosystem. And I think it'll happen here.